Hello everyone, this is Noman Nazir. I hope everyone is fine. Today we will talk about unit testing. Let's talk about unit testing. Introduction for unit testing is a fundamental practice in software development where individual components of software known as units are tested independently to ensure their functions are intent. A unit is the smallest testable part of an application, often a function, method, or object. Developers typically perform unit testing during the development phase to identify and fix bugs early in the software lifecycle. The primary objective of unit testing is to validate the correctness of a specific unit's behavior in isolation without external dependency like database, APIs, or integrated system. By focusing on these components, unit testing provides several key benefits. Let's talk about the first one, which is improved code quality that identifies issues early, reduce the risk of larger defects during the integration or during the production. Let's talk about the second one, which is faster debugging. That test individual units makes it easier to pinpoint the exact source of a problem. Let's talk about the third one, documentation. Unit tests serve as a form of documentation that explains how a function or method is intended to work. Let's talk about the last one. Developers can confidently make changes to code with the existing unit test. What is the overview of unit testing? The overview of the unit testing explains what is the unit testing. Unit testing is a software testing technique where the smallest testable part of an application called a unit are tested in isolation to verify their correctness. A unit is a software program, single function method, procedure, or module. What is the importance of unit testing? Unit testing plays a critical role in software development and quality, uh, offering significant benefits that improve the readability, maintainability, and overall quality of software application. What are the pros of unit testing? Personally, unit testing offers many advantages that improve software quality and development process. Let's talk about the first one, early detection of bugs. Unit testing identifies issues in the smallest components of the application during the development phase. Improved code quality. Unit tests enforce best practice and ensure that each unit performs as expected. And also, developers write cleaner, more clearly to make units easier to test. Let's talk about the third one, simplified debugging. Testing individual unit in isolation make it easier to pinpoint the root cause of the failure. There is no need to debug the entire application, only the failing unit is reviewed, I guess. Let's talk about the fourth one, better maintainability. New developer can understand the functionality of specific unit by reviewing the corresponding. Now let's talk about the challenges in unit testing. There are many challenges we face while in the unit testing. While unit testing provides many benefits, it also comes with challenges that developer and teams must address to ensure effectiveness or to show like what are the challenges that unit testing face. The first one is time consuming initial setup. Developers may face difficulty setting up test environments or mocking dependency. Let's talk about the second one, difficulty testing legacy code. Legacy systems often lack and may have tightly coupled components, making it challenging to isolate units for testing. Let's talk about the third one, maintenance overhead. Poorly written tests may break frequently, leading to additional maintenance effects. Let's talk about the last one, false sense of security. Passing unit test does not guarantee that the entire system will work. Let's talk about the strategies to overcome unit testing challenges. So the first one is incremental testing, starts with testing new code and progressively add tests for legacy systems. Second one, training. Invest in developer training for best practice in unit testing. Let's talk about third one, automation tools. Use readable framework like JUnit, NUnit, or PyTest to simplify the testing process. Let's talk about key qualities of good unit testing. Good unit testing are essential for ensuring that code behavior are expected and maintainable. Maintaining software quality to be effective, unit testing must meet certain standards. So the first one is clear and concise. Let's talk about clear and concise. Unit testing should be easy to read and understand. A well-written test is clearly in its intent and that is expected behavior without unnecessary complexity. The name of unit testing method should describe the scenario being tested. For example, test add additional with positive numbers. Uh, let's talk about the second one, isolated. Unit testing should test only a single unit of functionality, for example, function or method or solution. Um, the test should not rely on external system database, APIs, or other components. Mocking or stubbing external dependency can help achieve a solution. Let's talk about the fast. Third one, unit tests should run quickly so that developers can execute them frequently without wasting time. Slow tests can hinder productively and make it difficult to run tests, often reducing the value of test automation. Let's talk about independent. Each unit test should be independent of others. The outcome of one test uh, should not affect the others. And let's talk about comprehensive. Good unit tests cover a variety of scenarios, include positive case, valid unit that should produce the expected outcome. Let's talk about the negative case, invalid input that should trigger or error handling. Let's talk about edge cases, boundaries, and the limits of input values such as very large number of empty strings. Let's talk about reliable. A good unit test produce concise consistent results every time it is run, regardless of the environment or times. uh, Unreadable tests that fail intermittently, also known as flaky tests, are not usable and can undermine confidence in the testing process. Let's talk about maintainable. As the code evolves, unit tests should be easy to update without causing intensive rework. Tests should be refactor friendly, allowing for challenge in the code base without introducing bugs in the tests themselves. Okay, let's talk about mock objects in unit testing. Now everyone is thinking, what is mock objects in unit testing? Let's introduce mock object first. In unit testing, mock objects are used to simulate the behavior of real objects in a controlled way. They are particularly useful when testing components that interact with the external system, database, or other dependency that are difficult or inefficient to include in system test. Mocking allows you to isolate the unit under the test and focus on its behavior without relying on actual implementation of dependency. Now you guys are thinking, what is mock objects? A mock object is a simulated object that helps the behavior of real objects in a predictable way. Mock objects are typically used to replace real dependency in the unit being tested or control the behavior of these dependency to test specific scenarios, or we can say verify that interacts with dependencies are as expected. Now let's talk about what are the difference from other test doubles like stubs and spies. Let's talk about stub. Provides predefined responses to method call but does not verify behavior. Spay records interacts with the other objects but can still perform real operation. Mock not only simulates behavior but also verify that certain interaction calls. Now let's talk about when to use mock object. When testing code that depends on external systems, for example, database, web services, file system, or network calls, when interaction with the dependency are difficult to simulate or costly, mocking allows you to simulate complex behavior without incurring the cost or complexity of real interaction. When verifying behavior, mock allow you to check if methods on the dependency were called with the expected argument. Okay, what are the benefits of using mock objects? Mock objects allow you to isolate the unit being tested, ensuring that only the unit's logic is tested, not the behavior of its dependency. There are list of benefits of the using mock objects. The first one is isolation. Mock allow you to isolate the unit being tested, ensuring that only the unit's logic is tested, not the behavior of its dependency. The second one is faster tests. Mocks allows to replace the time-consuming dependency, for example, network calls or database operation with faster simulate behavior. Third one is control over task scenario. More provide fine-grained control over the behavior of dependency, allowing you to test edge cases and error conditions easily. Let's talk about the behavior verification. Mocks help verify that the unit interacts with its dependency in the expected way, ensuring that method calls are made with the correct argument and frequency. Let's talk about drawback of mock object. Okay, over mocking. Overusing mock can lead to tests that focuses too much on the implementation details of the unit being tested rather than the behavior. And the second one is increased complexity. When there are many dependencies to mock, the test setup become complex and harder to maintain. And let's talk about the third one, rise of false confidence. If mocks are not using properly, they can create tests that give a false sense of security. It's important to combine unit testing with integration and system tests. So let's talk about the conclusion of mock objects in unit testing. Mock objects are powerful tool in unit testing, especially when you need to isolate the unit being tested from complexity external dependency by simulating behavior and verifying the other effects of it that ensure that your code behave are expected in various scenarios. However, they should be used to avoid overly complex or misleading tests. Let's talk about unit testing tools. Okay, unit testing is a tool are essential for automation the process of writing and running unit tests, which help developers verify the correctness of individual unit of code. These tools provide framework and libraries to create, organize, and execute test efficiency. Below are the the different languages of the codes that explains the tools of unit testing. Let's talk about the JUnit in Java. JUnit is one of the most widely used unit testing framework for Java. It provides annotations and assertions to write tests in a structured way. Now everyone is thinking about what are the key features of JUnit in Java. So it supports both unit tests and integration testing. The annotation like at test, at before, and at after help manage test setup and execute. Integration with the build tools like JUnit, I think is the best tool of unit testing. Now everyone is thinking about What are the use case? Writing unit tests for Java application, particularly in conjunction with tools like Mockito for mocking dependency. Let's talk about Python. Pay test. Okay, mocking is the process of implementation of a class's or interface to help a specific unit in isolation. It is useful for testing dependency classes. Let's talk about the conclusion of unit testing. So I'll take 10 to 15 minutes on that for the conclusion. Sorry, I'm taking too long time for that presentation. Conclusion of unit testing unit testing is a crucial aspect of modern software development that plays a significant role in ensuring the readability, maintainability, and functionality of code. By testing individual component or unit is isolation, developers can detect error early in the development cycle, leading to more robust and bug-free software. So improved code quality. Now you guys are thinking in conclusion, what is improved code quality? It's a unit test help identify bugs early by verifying that individual unit of code functions as expected. This reduces the defects, making it to later stage of development or production. Faster debugging. What is faster debugging? When a test fails, it provides immediate feedback about which specific part of the code is has problem, speeding up the debugging process. This allows developers to address issues uh, before they more complex problems. Simplifying refactoring with a solid suite of unit tests, developing can confidently refactor and optimize code. Since unit tests verify the correctness of a code in isolation, many changes made can be tested against the existing functionality to ensure nothing is broken. Okay, let's talk about documentation. Documentation in unit testing act as living documentation for the code. They show how individual components are expected to behave, which help other developers understanding the code base and logic behind specific implementation. Now everybody is thinking about automation and CD integration. Unit tests are often automated and integrated into continuous integration, which is CI, and continuous deployment, which is CD pipeline, ensuring that new challenges or updates are always tested against the testing code base. This fosters a culture of regression, I guess. Let's talk about cost effective. Now everybody's thinking, what is cost effective? Catching bugs early in the development cycle via unit testing is less costly than identifying and fixing defects in later stages, such as during integration testing or post deployment. Okay, let's talk about challenges and limitations that we face in unit testing. So now everybody is thinking, what is it? Like, while unit testing has numerous advantages and challenges like time consumption for initial setup, dealing with legacy code, managing dependency, and maintaining test quality, and need to be managed effectively. Also, unit testing does not guarantee the overall system correctness, as integration and system tests are equally important. Okay. In conclusion, unit testing is an essential practice that helps developers ensure their code is working as expected. It provides the foundation for writing readable, maintainable, and high-quality software. By incorporating unit testing into the development process, team can significantly improve the software robustness, reduce errors, enhance overall productive. However, to get the most out of the unit testing, it should be balanced with other testing approaches like integration and system testing of comprehensive test coverage. Okay, so now everybody's thinking, I mean, unit testing is more than just a phase in the software development life cycle. It is a producing, reliable, maintainable, and high quality software. I already talked about it. The extended conclusion of this unit testing is that significance of unit testing. So unit testing plays an indispensable role in software development, ensuring that the smallest readable parts of an application, often individual function or method, perform as expected. This approach is fundamental because prevention overcrowd, detecting issues during the development stages saves times and resource compared to identify them in production. Foundation for the practice in modern rapid and interactive development cycle are critical. Unit testing ensure that frequent challenges do not introduce recursion. Confidence to code base. A comprehensive suite of unit testing serve as a safety net, allowing developer to experiment with the improve the code without fear of introduction errors. So by fostering a culture of testing as we develop unit testing discipline in coding practices, leading to software that is both robust and intensible. Let's talk about comprehensive benefits. I mean, what are the comprehensive benefits of unit testing? While the immediate benefits of unit testing is very fine, the functionality of individual units Earth's impact extends to multiple effects of software engineering. So enhancing code quality, unit testing encourages developer to write better code. When you write the test first and then practice, known as test driven development or TDD, it focuses like you think about the requirement and design before implementation. So this can help you with the reducible code, clear boundaries between components, reduced technical depth. Okay, so let's talk about early detection of bugs. Defects caught during the unit testing are typically easier and cheaper to fix than those identified later in the development cycle. This early intervention minimizes risk and ensure smoother integration with other components. So now everybody new points comes in their mind, which is confidence during refactoring. Refactoring is often necessary to improve the design of existing code. Unit tests provide the uh, often, I mean, the even after modifying the code, its behavior remain unchanged. This is particularly valuable in larger complex and code bases. So now everybody is thinking about simplifying maintenance in unit testing. Over time, software involves with the new features and enhance the new features in their software. Unit testing serves as a form of documentation detailing how specific unit of code should behave. This is very helpful for onboarding new developers and maintaining the software year after its initial development. Now everybody's think about cost saving. Well, setting up unit tests to require an upfront investment. It reduces the overall cost of software development by lowering the expenses associated with debugging, rework, and maintainability. So the challenges of unit testing. So now, uh, including, so I'm sorry I'm taking very long time. So just give me 5 more minutes. So challenges of unit testing is despite its numerous benefits, unit testing is not without its challenges. So time and resources intensive. Okay, writing and maintaining unit testing can be time consuming, especially for larger and complex projects. Okay, everybody know that. Developers can often face pressure to deliver features quickly, which may lead to different challenges. So let's talk about difficulty testing legacy code. Legacy system often written without testing in mind can be challenging to refactor or so the introducing unit tests in such scenarios requires additional effects such as decoupling tightly integrated components or redesigning the architecture. Okay, let's talk about the maintenance overhead. Okay, as a software involves unit test must be updated in to reflect changes in functionality. Poorly written tests can become a maintenance burden, slowing down development rather than making it too fast. Personally, so now everybody's thinking over mocking. In many cases where dependency are intensive, mock tests may validate the behavior of mocks rather than the actual logic, leading to misleading results. Okay, now let's talk about the role of unit testing in CI CD pipeline. Okay, I already talked about it. Continuous integration and continuous deployment. So the continuous integration is CI, which is stand for continuous integration, and then continuous deployment, which stand for CD. So by automation, the execution of unit testing. Okay, let's talk about, developers receive immediate feedback on code changes, ensuring that new commit do not break existing functionality. It fosters collaboration as a team can, let's say every group in a team, so we can confidently integrate their work in knowing the test, validate the stability of the shared code base. So the pipeline becomes a gatekeeper, okay, so which is preventing defective code from reaching staging or producting environment. Okay, let's talk about balancing unit testing with other testing types. While unit testing is indispensable, it is only one piece of the test of the pyramid. Okay, so integration testing verify the different modules working together as expected. System testing ensuring the entire application meets the specified requirement. Exception testing validate that the application fulfill the end user need. Okay, let's talk about future trends in unit testing. Okay, in software development. The evolution of software development practices in the further of unit testing in several ways, which is AI driven testing, shift left testing, test automation framework, code coverage and analysis. Let's talk about AI driven testing. Artificial intelligence is beginning to automate the generation of test case, identifying potential area of failure and even recommend fixes. This reduce the time required to create the maintains unit test. Let's talk about shift test. Shift left testing. The shift left approaches testing early in the development processes. Unit testing perfectly with this as it is focused on catching bugs as the early possible stages. Okay, let's talk about automation framework. Modern testing framework are becoming more user friendly and powerful tools like paytest, JUnit, like any other continuous to stream, like there are many, okay, making them accessible even to non-developer in some cases. Okay, let's talk about code coverage and analytic tools that measures code coverage. There are many code coverages tools, so that helps used to assess the effectiveness of unit testing. These tools help team identify untested parts of the code based driving improvement in testing. So let's talk about the final thoughts. Okay, so the final thoughts of a unit testing is a foundational practice that involve that developer to build readability, maintainability, and software. While it requires effects and discipline, yeah, its long-term benefits for by catching bugs early, fostering confidence in code changes, and enabling rapid interaction, unit testing, empowering development team to deliver high-quality software, and that means user expectations. In an area of rapid technology advancement, Unit testing continues to evolve, becoming more effective and accessible by integration unit testing into every stage of development and combining it with complementary testing method. Organization can achieve the unit testing, delivering robust and often free software.